Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So Rolve recently released their 10th anniversary update for Arsenal, and I have to say it is pretty fun to play. The new Battle Pass thingy where you can unlock visual stuff is a classic feature of Arsenal updates, and this one has some well-designed items such as the plain melee and the thumbnail beret skin. However, I think there's an important part of this update that is being overlooked. As I've talked about before on my channel, one of the biggest problems with this game over the past few years has been the lack of gameplay updates. The devs constantly focused on visual-based content, but for a lot of players who have a favorite skin and other cosmetic items, these updates didn't seem that enjoyable. While yes, it is true that the Battle Pass updates where you would have to get a lot of kills to unlock all the items did incentivize players, Arsenal's gameplay has remained extremely similar throughout its lifetime, sometimes causing a dry and repetitive experience for returning players. I am personally biased as someone who has been interested in the more competitive side of the game, but it would have been nice to at least see a little bit of new content introduced to that part of the community. The devs added some new public server maps over time, but some of the fun ones like ruins have been removed. There have also been some weapons added to standard. Again, the most fun ones like the grapple shotgun got deleted, and a lot of people don't enjoy playing standard in the first place, especially now that the server browser exists. Don't get me wrong, I am happy that Arsenal Reloaded preserved Arsenal's gameplay and didn't completely ruin it like in the alpha and beta stages of the update. But the point remains that gameplay updates are essential to any game, and to a wide degree Arsenal hasn't received that many over the past years that matter. The main problem I have with the new update is that it doesn't actually add anything new to the game besides the new view models, which really only affect the AUG because it got a scope. All they did was just add back some of the community's favorite removed maps into public rotation and VIPs. All of these maps were a part of the game at one point and were removed for questionable reasons, as I'll get into, especially when it comes to their removal from VIP servers. The devs basically just added back some deleted assets and slapped the title update onto it as if they were releasing new content. And the worst part is, the update is actually really enjoyable to play. Imagine if they would have just left in these maps that everyone loved over the past few years. The game would have kept its strongest content, which the devs clearly realize is the case by the fact that they've added it back in now for an anniversary update. This is a big issue here. On the gameplay side of things, they didn't add anything new. On the topic of a lot of these maps being removed from VIP servers, I do understand that it's not a good idea to have all of the maps in the game, because that would probably cause lag due to the amount of data in the replicated storage folder. But some of these maps were removed under fishy circumstances. The main case in point is Assault. For a while now, I have been wanting to make a video which would discuss the removal of Assault from the game, along with some other map related issues. Assault is an important map to Arsenal because it is one of the two 2v2 maps in the game's history along with Hillside. Its removal in 2023 was a heavy blow to the competitive community, which by the way has also been one of the most consistent and largest parts of the community since 2020. According to the Arsenal Wikipedia page, Assault was removed after the developers were pushed to the aspect of removing Counter-Strike content from the game. The number one issue I take with this though is the devs' inconsistency. If they were planning on removing all of the CSGO maps, I can understand why. Copyright could become a real issue if Valve decided to take action. Take a look at what happened to Roblox's old Pokemon games after Nintendo called up their lawyers. It would really suck obviously, because a lot of the game's best maps came from Counter-Strike. So the devs decided to fully remove maps like Assault, Agency, and Dust 2, among others. Except there's a major outlier. Dizzy. For whatever reason, Dizzy, in its almost original form, was kept fully in the game as a public server map, even though it was directly ripped from Counter-Strike Flying Scoutsman. Why would the devs randomly decide to leave in Dizzy, but remove other beloved maps like Assault? The problem gets worse when we consider that the old Safe House is also a copy from a CSGO Arms Race map under the same name. And by the way, Arms Race is literally the CSGO game mode that Arsenal is based off of. That version of Safe House was removed from public servers like Assault, but it wasn't removed from VIP servers. What the heck were the devs thinking? If only Assault got the Safe House treatment and wasn't deleted from VIP servers, then the comp community wouldn't have suffered pointlessly. The copyright issue is also kind of weird, because the devs left many of these CSGO copied maps in the game for over 5 years, including for the entire time that Arsenal rose to popularity starting in 2019 to its peak in 2020 and through its decline for another 2-ish years. It just seems like the copyright issues would have came up when YouTubers like Tanker were dropping weekly videos that got millions of views. But I could be mistaken. It also doesn't help that a lot of the revamped versions of maps are terrible compared to the originals. Take for example the original reloaded version of Sandtown, another map that was copied, though not from CSGO. Sundown. I made a whole video talking about why that map was terrible and ruined Sandtown, which is pretty much the best map in the game. Or the revamped version of Assaulto, which was never used in comp because of its annoying visuals and messed up layout. There was also a crappy revamped version of Dizzy, which was supposed to be for Reloaded, but the devs decided to scrap that. Now, I don't want to spread conspiracy theories about the devs hating the comp community, though they have expressed their distaste for it in the past, but it seems weird that they would decide to fully remove Assault but keep Safe House at least in VIPs. It's not like the devs weren't aware of Assault's status as a 2v2 map, so why wasn't it kept in VIPs like Safe House? Why wasn't it kept in public servers like Dizzy was? This is an issue that could probably be explored more, especially on the topics of Rolve's connections to the comp community through Castlers and all of the high-ranked players who were involved in interesting scandals related to Assault. So now the anniversary update has brought back many of these old maps, and they've decided to reintroduce Assault and Safe House all the way into public servers, despite that they were copied from CSGO. I don't think it was the coolest thing to do for the devs to add removed assets and call it an update. And like I mentioned, they clearly recognize that some of the maps like Assault have been the game's strongest content, and it really makes me want to know why they were ever fully removed in the first place, given the inconsistencies. I'm not complaining to Rolve at this point. Go ahead and leave Assault in the game and the other old maps in VIP servers, though I'm not sure I can expect that because of all of these weird contradictions going on. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Like I said, I'm not trying to spread any conspiracy theories. It is just weird that with all of these things going on, why Assault was even removed to begin with. My upload schedule obviously hasn't been very good for a while now. I've been working with Desp on a series that basically just covers like everything related to Arsenal's movement, all the different jumps on all the maps, and then we're gonna eventually go into like history and also strategy and how to use movement to your advantage and whatnot. So go ahead and check that out on his channel. I'm really happy with the way that series has turned out so far. It's got some great information in there, and yeah, I do have some videos planned soon, so make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all soon. Peace.